Well, last night, friends, they did it. They decided to avert the major crisis that was coming Friday where non-essential parts of the government of the United States is going to shut down. And, those Republicans, they're there to save us by passing massive amounts of spending. Not only do they keep spending at these outrageous levels, but they decided that they want to spend an extra $100 billion just in a couple months. In addition to all the crazy spending that we have going on. We need to talk about this, friends. We have a monstrous omnibus bill that has just been dropped on the House of Representatives. They're now getting a short chance to read the 1,550-page bill. That should just tell you all you really need to know about how insane this is. Nothing has changed in Washington, D.C. as of yet. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. And these are the things that the mainstream media won't talk about. They're going to tell you all sorts of false things. They're going to tell you, well, this is normal to have continuing resolutions instead of having a budget. I'm an accountant, and I know that organizations should have budgets. Families should have budgets. Individuals should have budgets. Budgets should have budgets, okay? But our government, who likes to spend ridiculously lavishly on all sorts of things like putting shrimp on treadmills and feeding cocaine to pigeons and all sorts of stuff. All of that is happening on our dime. And are the Republicans out there defending us and protecting us from all this? No, they're not. Well, okay, so they're going to stuff this with $100 billion more of spending. I'm sure it's going to go to a good cause. I'm sure we're going to give it to good and deserving people. And it's going to not be stuffed at all with a whole bunch of Democratic agenda items. Well, sorry, friends. Now, I haven't read the whole 1,550-page bill in just the last few hours because I like to sleep. But we have some summaries here. We have some summaries of what is actually in this thing. And you're not going to like it. So they said that they need to help disaster victims, which I think you and I are going to go, took them long enough, and not to be cynical or anything like that. Well, let's dive in a little bit to how they're going to help the people in North Carolina and Florida and Georgia and everywhere else. How are they going to help them? The answer to that is they're going to give $30 billion to FEMA. Some are out there calling this the cramulus. Let's see if the cramulus. It's not trending just yet. Probably will be in just a little bit. But $30 billion to FEMA, whose federal mandate apparently is to not help Republicans. To not help anyone who has a Trump flag or Trump signage in their yard. So we're giving $30 billion to the most inefficient way of helping people. So, okay, so we're not on a good track here yet. We're spending $30 billion to help people in the most inefficient way possible. Maybe some of that will get to the people there in North Carolina. I'm not holding my breath on that one. All right, so what else have they done? $10 billion to farmers. Now, again, who here doesn't like that we're helping farmers? I mean, we like farmers. I like farmers. You like farmers. I like eating delicious vegetables and foods that come from local farmers. You get some good, great apples from up here in Pennsylvania. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. So is this going to help farmers? and how? That's the real question. And I think, yeah, when you're talking about farmers, you have to realize that most farms, by acreage and such, are not really like family farms. They're something else. They're these monstrosities where you have these corporate farming happening, right? Now, family farms, I think we all love that idea. How many people here are super on board with corporate farms, where they buy up massive acreage, hire people to run the equipment, and then they rent or they purchase all the land? And then also remember, who owns most of this farming land? Because these guys are considered farmers. People like Bill Gates and the Chinese. You say, Steve, they wouldn't be, it's not possible that the federal government of the United States is paying the Chinese government subsidies. Oh, you doubt me, my friend? You doubt that is possible, that the United States government is actually paying subsidies to Chinese entities, including the Chinese Communist Party itself, because it owns farmland inside the United States? Yeah, that's exactly what happens. This assistance doesn't just go to family farms. It goes to people like Bill Gates, who owns farmland, and it goes to foreign entities that have farmland as well that they've purchased up. You know, when the Chinese buy up all that farmland around our military bases, which is not suspicious at all. They got their balloons floating over, their drones flying all around, and then they're buying up farmland right next to our strategic military bases. Anyway, that's happening. What else is in this bill? Well, we already heard from some Republican congressmen who are saying basically that they're seeing this thing stuffed with all sorts of Democratic pork. Pork, of course, referring to, whenever they put their little special spending projects in. You know, Democrats will vote for it as long as they get money for their district, whatever that looks like. So we got $100 billion extra to be spent through March, because that's how long this very well thought out spending bill takes us from December all the way till March 14th. At which time, we're going to hope that the Republicans finally, suddenly, magically grow a spine. I hope Donald Trump looks down at them and says, I will veto anything that looks like this kind of monstrosity. You will give me a budget, and you will pass it. You will not do a continuing resolution, none of that. Or if you give me a continuing resolution, it needs to be cut by 20%. There needs to be cuts of 20% across the board. Maybe 25, maybe 50%. You know, Elon Musk, I think, wants a 75% cut. Because the simple fact is, when you have these massive offices and corporate bureaucracy where nobody gets fired unless they say mean things about powerful people, if they question things, if they whistleblow, if they try to do things properly when they've been told to do things wrong, these organizations are stuffed with people who are rubber stamping things, who are coasting, who don't do anything. Yeah, I remember the old Dilbert comic strip. I don't know if they even do that anymore. Scott Adams, his Twitter account is quite interesting still. He's like us, right? But his Dilbert cartoon, I remember Wally, one of the characters walking around, and they asked him what he does, and he says, "Without me, this coffee cup couldn't transport itself around the office." And isn't that like so much? Anyone who's worked in offices, without critical standards, without constant attention and reviews, it's very easy to have whole departments that don't really do anything. A department that could be automated with a simple Excel spreadsheet. Departments that could be automated with some kind of computer program. But we don't want to look at that because, well, then what will all these people do? Well, right now the question is, what do they do anyway? And we need to be looking at the government like this, where we're trying to make it efficient. And Department of Governmental Efficiency is very much needed. So this porculus, this omnibus bill, Republicans have promised to give congressmen 72 hours to read any kind of bill that they put out. So maybe they'll abide by that. I'm not holding my breath because they've said that they're going to get the spending in Washington, D.C. under control, and they have not done that whatsoever. They need to pass this thing, get it passed in the Senate, and get it signed by the resident by Friday, because Friday is when the government will shut down otherwise. I hope so bad that the government shuts down. Because remember, the non-essential parts of the government shut down. And I think it's very erroneous to say that the places that stay open are still necessary, essential functions of government, because so many things stay open that really shouldn't stay open. Departments like the FBI, which basically exists to prosecute and persecute political opponents, just like some third world nation. And you go through the list of all these different departments that stay open, even in shutdown. The only thing they shut down is national parks and basically anything that would actually help the American people. Those are the organizations and departments that get shut down, so that we realize how much the politicians need to get in line and just fund the government. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. $30 billion to FEMA for disaster money support. Do you think they're going to use that well? Is that a win or is that a loss? Because, I mean, we need the help. We need the help there. But on the other hand, is this going to help? Or is this just going to give them more money to help more people across the border? Because that's where they seem to always spend all the money. Getting hotels booked out completely, not for U.S. citizens who have been disaster victims, but rather for people coming here illegally. We need to have some hard conversations, friends, and this is not encouraging to see these spineless Republicans putting forward a 1,550-page bill. One person shared on Twitter a picture of it, and it's like this thick. They had to probably have their printer go on for an hour or more just to print the thing. I don't know why they would waste so much ink and so much paper just to print this bill. Absolutely insane. All right, friends, that's what's happening out there. I wanted to get that to you. Sorry to ruin your morning, but hopefully you have a good rest of your morning as we go into this week, this final week before Christmas. Hopefully you got your shopping done and stocking stuffers and everything like that. Hopefully that this monstrosity that they're doing in Washington, D.C. doesn't ruin your day. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.